Ready to go. Here we go. This is the first episode of the podcast. So we're actually shooting in my studio apartment in Queens because the amenities section has been closed off for the coronavirus, and I feel like I am thoroughly annoyed by this. I feel like everybody has lost their mind.
What's the coronavirus?
What is the coronavirus?
In your words.
It is a pandemic that has made people. Honestly, I think it probably has some type of effect on the mental health of people, and that's why it's acting like. That's why the whole world's turned into this. Okay. I think it probably affects the brain, and I think that's why everybody's acting so stupid. That's what I think. So, my gym is closed off. The conference room is closed off. The lounge is closed off. I can't go in the lobby. I can't go on the roof. What else can I do in the building?
But you still went to work though.
I can work. Other people can't work, right? What else is closed off because it's coronavirus? So as you can see, like I said, we're up here now in my apartment as opposed to being downstairs. So, first podcast, this is kind of what it's about. So basically, I feel like the purpose of this podcast, right? I feel like I'm just explaining to you too, because
Yeah.
Me and you talk all the time, right? We talk. We've had conversations for how long have I known you since? 2010, probably.
Yeah.
11, probably 2011. I graduated in 2012.
Yeah,
so 2011-ish.
Yeah. It was junior year.
Right. So,
damn.
We talk on the phone, right? And I feel like we have conversations that other people should probably have. Yeah. So we talk, and I feel like the conversation that we have should be one, recorded, right? And I also want people to challenge me on things so that I can actually grow. Because I feel like the more people that kind of say, Donivan, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, then I can actually go and investigate and try and figure out, okay, kind of grow as a person. So that's why I want to put our conversations out there so somebody can then critique it and be like, this is dumb, that's stupid, or whatever. So that helps me to grow. Also, one of the monikers of the Bamboo Project is turn your life into a living, right? So I want to make money off the things that I do every single day, or for the most part, for the most of my week or whatever. Just talking to you. I play basketball. I eat food, I wear clothes, and what's another thing that I probably... And then I have money, so I have financial things I have to worry about too. So I want all of those things I want to be able to make money off of the things that I do every day. So I don't want to have to actually go out of my way to then say, okay, let me create something that I have that is not a part of my life, and I have to put energy into that, so it takes away from my actual life. Does that make sense?
Gotcha, yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of where it came from. Also, another thing of the Bamboo Project is consistency, and I feel like from everything I've learned over the last 10 plus, my whole life, honestly, successful people, it's pretty much, you can be talented, you can be skilled, or whatever you want to call it, but it's doing the same thing or learning from it over and over. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep learning, and you keep growing. One thing that me and Melissa talk about is, it's called maintain and grow. It's kind of another Bamboo moniker where it's like you have to maintain what you're doing right now. So you want to get to a level where, okay, everything's already going great, it's automated, and then you grow from there. So you build on top of that. So you go, okay, I have dirt, right? If I'm growing a tree or whatever the case might be. You can't grow something if the foundation for it is already fucked up. It's not going to grow properly. But also, you can't just have a great foundation and think, okay, I don't have to plant seeds. You have to have both things going, and that's what I want to do with this. So that's what I want to do with this, and so I figured I'll put this out there. And I also have a lot of thoughts, and I just feel like it's easy for me to get my thoughts out, and it also helps me to challenge myself if I get my thoughts out, because I'm like, okay, I said it. It helps me to articulate what I'm thinking. So I'm like, okay, I think a podcast would be great to do. So that's how we started. That's how we came up with this podcast. We've been doing it for about 2 weeks, not about a month probably now.
More than a month.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't actually put anything out yet because we've kind of been trying to figure it out. But I feel like the coronavirus has put me over the edge of
gotta get shit done.
Yeah, not even my sanity.
Really?
Yes, I feel like everybody's going crazy. I'm like, okay, I just want to put my thoughts out there and see what comes back from it. So that's kind of...
Why not Twitter, Instagram,
because
Facebook?
I can't get my thoughts out in that amount of space. I need more, like, I need the visual, I need the audio, I need more time to say what I'm thinking. I need somebody to challenge me what I'm like. If I'm asking you a question, if I say something to you can be like, oh, that doesn't make sense. I need that to be. If I just tweet it, I'm gonna think I'm right until somebody and nobody says anything. I'm like, yep, that's right, that's right,
true.
that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, if I put it out there, then somebody could be like,
Are you worried a little bit about the coronavirus?
no,
Not even a scintilla.
not even, nope, nothing at all. I
It's
have
just
no
a
worry
scintilla.
about the coronavirus at all. So,
how is your like family, friends, other people that you've been speaking to?
Melissa lives with me. Well, we live together, so that's my immediate people, and she's the only person that's close to me that's like logical. So she's there. My mom and my dad, who are not around me, right? They're crazy. They've lost their mind, right? I talk to you, you're fine. Like it's logical. So it's only the people that are not either, I wouldn't say informed. Like I said, he's close to me, so we talk about it. People that don't do the research are the ones that are going crazy. The ones that just watch the news, those are the ones that are thinking, okay, this is crazy because everybody, like I see the news, they're doing this fear mongering nonsense. We're gonna scare everybody to death for whatever strange reason that they're trying to do that. And I feel like, other than that, I can't think of anybody else outside my family that's probably.
Well, being that you've been actually on the streets, like working, how have you been seeing the reactions from whether it be restaurateurs or other bike messengers? I know because me personally, yesterday I helped one of my mentors move from his garment district office to a storage space in White Plains. On the way up, we stopped in a coffee shop because there wasn't any coffee shops open within the city for like 4 or 5 blocks. But we found a coffee shop, got in there. There was this lady in there walking her dog. I asked, how is she? She said, yeah, it's good. We're fine. We're just, got to still live life. I asked the guy, how's it been? He's like, man, it's been busy.
Wait, he's at the
coffee shop?
Yeah.
He's
like mom and pop type?
Yeah. Just, okay, cool. We drive up the Hudson River and we get to White Plains. And on the Hudson River, you can see people some people are having barbecues. Some people are just, walking their dogs. Some people are holding hands. Some people are running, jogging. And then we reached a clutter space. The name of this place was Clutter. We reached a storage space, and I'm asking the guy, how is it as well? And he's like, yo, it's been busy. So I think businesses are booming, and businesses that are staying open are booming. I know e-commerce for brands have been doing well, at least from the conversations that I've heard.
Oh, you said e-commerce? Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which brands? Because I wouldn't think that was.
I don't know if I can say it on the radio, proprietary.
Okay, but, so they are are they like?
There's one brand specifically that's New York based.
Let me rephrase it. Is it like Supreme level brand, or is it more like it's not? So where would you put it?
What level? I mean, okay, they have enough financial stats to have a store on Mott.
Okay.
But the point is, like, they weren't doing. Let's say they did 14,000, right? They weren't doing 14,000 last month. So
that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, 14,000 a day. I want to add.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's interesting? Okay, so why do you think people are buying clothes? Are they on sale?
From being online, I think what I've been seeing a lot of brands do, conscious brands have been posting, hey, to support, to keep business open, to support small businesses, let's do smart capitalism and shop online. So I've seen that kind of push. And I think humans in general want to buy because we consume. And I think now we're being forced to buy. And I think sales as well. I've seen some stores do sales. I've seen a lot of stores actually do sales during this time.
Yes, I could see that because I don't understand what would make somebody who wasn't buying before then go and buy now. Like, I don't know, because you can't wear the clothes. I guess maybe in the future.
Yeah.
But if it's not a sale, you're not saving anything by buying it now. You're just buying more stuff.
I mean, people also buy stuff to cope with stress. And so I feel like before, you could have went out and went downtown. But when 42nd Street is not 42nd Street anymore, and so is no longer Soho, the mall is your cell phone. So I think that's kind of where people are going. Because you still get that same rush of pleasure when you click the purchase button.
Yeah. My mind was just like, okay, why? That is 100% true. I just didn't think of that as a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even, wow.
Yeah,
people are wow. Okay, people are cope buying.
Yeah. It's been an interesting time. I went to Dollar General yesterday to get some orange juice and water, and I was like, "How's it been for y'all?" Busy. I said, "You guys plan to close?" He said, "Nah, nigga, you gotta make money." So once I'm like, Dollar General is not essential.
You think so?
If I think so.
You think Dollar General is not essential?
I mean, it's an essential in terms of consumer-based products, but in terms of like, if Dollar General's open, then that just shows me that like the end goal is to make money, and that businesses, they have a choice whether they stay open. That's what I learned from it, because Dollar General is not necessarily giving you anything of real nutritional value. They're not really giving you anything that like.
You say nutritional? I'm thinking more
not
so
even the word
like
nutritional, but
like if you need soap, like if you got to get toilet tissue, if we have any left, you get chips and shit, like those kind of things. I would think of it as an essential. Like it's not. I don't even know if I would say it's necessary for living, but I would think that it's essential. Cause I don't shop at Dollar Tree, so
I personally have a disdain for Dollar General, because now that I live in the neighborhood where they put Dollar Generals, I'm like, this shit is intentional. I don't even think it's intentional. You know what I'm saying? I think it just happens that whoever has a Dollar General franchise, like, we could make a lot of money in this area.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of that business.
Is it the business model? What about Dollar Tree?
I don't really like any of them, because these are placed in areas where the supermarket is 15 blocks away. So the laziest option, the easiest option is to go to Dollar General. And when you go to Dollar General, you're just getting TV dinners. You're just getting like soda. You're just getting snacks for like cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I prefer Dollar Tree because I feel like they're cheaper than Dollar General. I think there's a Dollar General somewhere on White Plains Road towards Gun Hill by Gun Hill Road, and things in there are like $5, $7. You go to Dollar Tree. From what I remember, everything is either a dollar. You might get $2. Everything is $1. You're going in there. I don't know if you remember when we went with my mom, and we went through in the co-op, and we was getting mad stuff.
I do remember.
And it was like, this is $1. I go, yeah, this is $1. Like, this is crazy. But yeah. I don't remember Dollar General being like that. So,
but yeah, they're still open. Getting on the train today. I said the train. If anything, the train looks like how it looks on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't look like there's a pandemic going on. It looks like the city's just calm.
Yeah, I feel like, and I was thinking about this too when I was riding. When we used to do deliveries back in, 2020?
Yeah.
So probably like 2014, 2015 probably, when we first started. You remember when we used to come downtown at like 7 o'clock in the morning and we would go to the coffee place? That's what it looks like. It reminds me of that, where it's like, I'm not used to seeing it. It's just for longer periods of time, and it's like, so for me, if I'll be on. This is kind of the thing that I would see now that makes me go, wow, people are actually crazy. I'll be on Broadway, right, and I won't see a car for 5 blocks, and I think that's crazy. Like there's no cars on Broadway on 6th Avenue. It'd be a middle of the day, rush hour, and there's nobody outside. So that's kind of what makes me realize, like, okay, people are crazier than I actually thought they were.
The thing is, like, I think people still practice like social distancing, because.
So do you think they should?
Yeah, because like, no one really knows what the virus is. Because
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So I think people should still practice social distancing, and only be outside with intent. But all that wearing a mask and just being prejudiced towards people, and like, what was the story you told me the other day about the woman who used social distancing as an excuse to be like racist? Yes.
Right. This is what happened. So I do deliveries in the city, right? I'm an essential part of the economy. I don't know if anybody knows that. I pull up to deliver food, right? I'm delivering a pizza, right? And I'm getting off my bike, and I can see this lady. She's of a lighter complexion than I am.
European?
I wouldn't say she's European, but she might be from Europe. So, she might be from one of those places where the complexions are a little bit lighter. I don't know.
Later. Have a good day.
So I'm getting off my bike, and I see her approaching me, right? I see her approaching me, and I see her stop, right? And like, you would think that I'm like some type of homeless or some type of crazy person, but she stopped. So it it jogged my mind. It made me just go, what's going on here? So she stopped. I get off my bike, and she just stopped to watch me. Like, okay, is he gonna come touch me? What's he gonna do? So I'm locking my bike, and she walks. I'm here. This is the sidewalk right here. She's walking all the way on the edge of the curb around me. Around me to get into the building. Right? So I'm like, all right. I wonder if she knows we're going to the same building. I'm like, she probably doesn't even know. So I'm like, this should be interesting. So I go into the building after her, right? She's talking to the doorman. She has a baby with her, right? Now, I already know. I could tell by her reaction and her European complexion that she might
you say
have...
European, you just mean white? Because I don't think about this black European.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what she is. She's just a white. She's one of the whites.
White?
Yeah, right? So I'm like, all right. I could tell she has some racist... I don't want to call her racist. She doesn't like black people.
Some prejudice in her.
Yeah. She's not really fond of the other people. So this lady goes inside, talks to the doorman. The doorman's, playing with the baby inside the carriage or whatever, or the stroller. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go tell him, hey, I'm going up to apartment 7, whatever I'm going to, right? So I see her get into the elevator. So I'm like, all right, I'm going up an elevator. So I get into the elevator. I try to get to the elevator. She stops me. She goes, whoa, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, what? She's like, what happened? What are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, can you catch the next elevator? I'm like, what? She goes, can you catch the next one? I'm like, no, why? Why would I do that? She goes, social distancing. So I'm looking at her, right? Now this is when my mind goes to this is what people call this is why people call people racist, right? This is why. So I come into the building. Now let's say it's a possibility that she is trying to help the economy or help the world by social distancing, right? Let's say that's a possibility.
Because it is a possibility. She might be worried. She might have an old person at the house that she doesn't want to get sick. Because old people,
very
are
true,
more susceptible to getting sick.
Now, normally I would think that, right? However, she was playing with the doorman, very, very close to the doorman. How did she know the doorman does not have the coronavirus? The doorman was playing with the baby. The doorman was in her face. But when I come in...
The doorman was touching the baby?
The doorman was touching the baby.
May I ask who was the doorman?
He was also of a lighter white complexion, right?
Interesting, okay.
So I come in, I get behind her, go in the elevator, and she wants me to catch the next one, right? So I'm like, nah. She goes, okay, all right. I'll catch it. You know what? I'll just catch the next one. So she proceeds to get out the elevator, walk past me, and wait for the next one. Now, these things don't really change my life, right? It just shows me how stupid people are.
I didn't know so you got on the elevator and
she got off before I got on.
So she was in
the elevator. I'm looking at her. I'm in the threshold of the door, about to get in the elevator. And she decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk out the elevator, past this
whatever she thought she would have got, she already got.
Whatever she thought, exactly. Mind you, I don't think she was wearing gloves. So, or she was not wearing a mask either. So, somebody to be this germophobic, or what's the other word? What is it, hypochondriac? Somebody to be these two things, for you to not then take the precautions of wearing a mask, wearing gloves, and having somebody touch your baby, you would think that you would also... No, it's then weird for you to now all of a sudden go, wow, social distancing is real. I need to make sure that I'm nowhere around this person. Yeah. So then she got the elevator. Now, like I said earlier, these things don't really change my life, right? It's just something that you pay attention to certain people. They go, okay, people are clearly going to use this as a reason to do nonsense or whatever other underlying issue that they probably have. So that's kind of that was one of my racist experiences doing deliveries.
It's interesting because even when we talk about racism, it makes me think of one theory that I had with this whole virus thing, is that there's an election going on right now. Mm-hmm. Before this virus thing, everyone was on the election. This is a very important election for America, by the way.
Why you say that?
Because I feel like if Trump wins again, it shows you how a large portion of the country thinks, regardless of what they say. Mm-hmm. Because I think before, one could have said, we didn't know. And we didn't know Trump was going to be like this. We didn't know he would say things like this. But now, because if he's done all what he's done or said, for you to still vote for him means that you're fine with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just understanding what I think Trump represents to people in this country. So I feel like, the media pushing COVID-19 also plays into like the fact that we have an election currently going on, and that kind of takes away from it.
So this is a couple of things. So there's a couple of things I really want to get to on the podcast, right? Like very important things that I feel like I want to put out there. So I feel like so other people can then challenge me. Yeah. Or even obviously you now. What is that?
I'm about to say some wild shit.
So, no, I took some screenshots, some stuff that I just saw online yesterday, right? Let's see, what is this one about?
The rain actually looks beautiful.
What?
No, the rain.
Oh. So this is from NBCNewYork.com. This is an article I was reading yesterday, right? The article says, at a news conference Sunday, Cuomo said the number of deaths in the state now stand at 114. Right, 114. Now, of the 15,000 cases, the positive cases, 9,000 have been in New York City. Of the whole state, 9,000 are here. Right, that's more than half. 70% of those who passed away were, what would you guess the age would be?
65 and up.
70 years and older. People who are alive for 70 years. Now, this is 2020. Let me do the math on that.
It's funny. That's actually the, in the Bible, it says you're supposed to live with 3 scores in a decade. It's like
1950. They were born in the 19 or older. So even before that, right? That's when these people that are dying now were born 70 years ago, right? So people who were born in 1950s or 40s or 30s for the Great Depression, possibly, are dying, right? And ready for this?
I'm listening.
The majority had underlying health conditions. So the majority of them were already sick. Put that out there. Cuomo noted approximately 80% of the people under 70 years who had died also had underlying health conditions. Right? So, let's see what else we got on here. So that to me was very important because I feel like people who are sick are dying. And yeah, I feel like it's that.
Yeah, we're here.
It's like
people are sick. I think, but that's also the thing is that that's not, that's taboo to say. It's not normal to say, look, people are gonna die. The sick people are dying already. Because when you read the numbers to me, it's like, yeah, it's how many people with 9,000?
Yeah.
How many fucking people in New York City? There's millions of people in New York City alone.
I'm gonna pull that note.
So it's like this whole thing is. I was talking to someone yesterday. And was like, yo, man, it's natural selection. One can see this out.
Darwinism.
You know what I'm saying? No one can see.
18 million people are in New York City. So I'm gonna find out what the math
of that.
I'm gonna find out the math of that right now.
That's like 9,000. So that's 0.0.
I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Listen, y'all. Just wash your hands, which y'all should have been doing already.
Yes. How do you feel about
just wash your hands like y'all been doing already. Just don't be in groups of people for like 2 weeks, and it's not even that complicated. It's really the thing is, I can go on a rant and insult people for thinking the way they think, but at the end of the day, they're thinking that way because of whatever reason. But it's just like it's not that serious. Okay. Like the world is still gonna go on. This is gonna go over.
There are 18 million people in New York City.
18 million.
18 million.
In New York City, not state. City. So that's the 5 boroughs.
In New York City, yes, in the 5 boroughs, right? Sheesh, that's even worse then because I gotta redo my math. Cause I thought it was okay. Hold on, let me see. 9,045 have it. So I'm gonna divide that by 18 million. I don't even know what number this is. That's how low this number is. I don't know what number would you say this is? Let me put it. That is the amount of the population that has the coronavirus in New York City. This percentage. What number is that? That is. I don't even know what that's.
Yeah, bro.
It's 0.0005% of the population of the New York City population has the coronavirus. 0.0005, right?
And what did I write down this morning?
And that's not who has died from it. That's not who died.
Yeah, it's actually nonsense.
All right,
it's actually complete nonsense. But use this time to focus up. Write down your goals, plan what is it that you want to do. moving forward, because when this shit is done in the next 2 to 4 weeks, I personally think it's an April Fool's joke. Mm-hmm. Like, how funny would it be if Trump just said April Fool's? And the thing is, would that be that far fetched?
You know what's crazy?
Would that be far fetched?
I'm gonna tell you what I've been thinking about, right? So I've been doing a lot of research trying to figure out what a solution for this could possibly be, right? So I came up with have about 2 or 3 solutions, right? One solution is come up with some type of vaccine or antivirus or some type of something that solves this.
Vaccine? Right? They gonna come with a vaccine.
I mean something. I don't know.
You taking the vaccine?
I'm not taking it. I'm just saying this is to solve the problem.
Oh, okay.
If they say we have a vaccine or whatever you use for a situation like this, a cure, we gonna give it to everybody who has it, right? That's one option. The second option is, which is partly part of the first option, is to have the Federal Reserve, right, print money,
man,
right? They're gonna print money and give it to people until somehow this goes away, right? Now, one of the ways for it to go away is that I believe this is called the herd immunity, right? I learned from this guy yesterday, and my understanding of that is if there are more people who have recovered from the virus, that makes it less likely for other people to get it. Because if I'm not in the transmissible state, right, I can't give it to you. So if I had it already and I recovered and you haven't got it, you're never gonna get it from me. So once you have a lot of people who already have gotten it and got over it, the amount of people that get it then will be a lot lower, right? That's what I believe is called herd immunity, right? So we just give people money pay all their bills until that goes away, right? Till this whole thing goes
and then
over.
That they don't pay it back because it's Federal Reserve money.
I'm gonna come back to that. So then the third option, now this is what you were just talking about now, right? Now this to me, if they somehow find a way to pull this off, this will be the greatest comeback of all time. Better than Michael Jordan. This will be the greatest comeback I've ever heard in my entire life.
Better than Goku? Because Goku had some good comebacks. Goku actually had the best comebacks of all time.
Against who?
When he came back and beat Cell.
Better than that.
When he did Cell. Who else did he beat?
Listen, this would be better.
He did beat Frieza. He actually
who is better than when? Who was it?
I'm gonna come clean.
Was it Dr. J? Who broke their leg? No, somebody had messed their leg up during one of the NBA games.
Paul Pierce?
No, it was before that. And I'm like, I forgot who it was. They messed their leg and they came back out to play. Right? It's better than that. There's no comeback that was better than this. Right? If the government or the media finds a way to spin this as though the virus is not as bad as it is.
Oh, they will.
Right? So I'm trying to figure out how they do that. Because the problem right now is not the virus. The virus is not the problem that's going on with the world. The problem is stupid people reacting to the virus.
But
that is the problem.
The way they're going to do it is literally by taking the information that we know, that we've said on this podcast, and just putting that in the media.
That's what I was thinking about, right? Because this, I'm going to tell you what I think the issue is right now, right? The economy is wilding. Yeah. The whole world, as far as I know,
is jumping.
Is wilding.
The trap is booming right now.
So they have to go. What they have to do is get people to go back outside. But people are so dumb that they will be like, I don't even know if they'll care. They'll be like, okay, the virus. But what do you think they would say though?
But let me ask you a question. Do people have to go outside when food is selling out? Because this is the thing. The stores that are open that have products that need to be sold are being sold, right? I think what's being affected is jobs that don't require humans. I think what's being affected is jobs
that don't require humans are being affected.
Because that don't require essentials. Because the jobs that are
like what jobs though?
Any job that's closed now is showing us that, well, not any job. A lot of the jobs that are closed down now, if we can exist without them for 5-6 months, what does that tell you?
So I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. This is when I thought about that, my mind went to, okay, people, after we have the essentials that we already need, people want more. So it's like going to the movie theater is not an essential, but they are $1 billion industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we do that we spend money on that are not essentials. Netflix is not an essential.
It's entertainment, right?
Right. There's a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about, I was thinking about boutique stores, right? If somebody was to go and spend $2,000 on a dress that's sewn, handmade, whatever, that's not an essential. But if the economy is doing well, people are gonna go buy these things, right?
Yeah.
So if the economy is doing fine, two things, those jobs, they become essential to the people that have them.
Well, I think they become more of a commodity. They don't ever really become essential.
No, they become essential to the people that have the jobs.
Oh, the jobs. Okay,
yeah, people that are making money off of those things. Now it's essential because they have to live off of that, right? And what I was thinking about with I forgot what I was saying. What was it
in
about?
Regards to like, I was talking about the jobs that we're losing now. We'll see 5-6 months.
Right. So the thing that will come from this, if we realize those jobs are not essential, would be that for people to realize that the government would have to give us a lot of money to survive, or give us money to pay for our bills, right?
Okay.
Once we're paying for our bills, what do we do after that? Once the coronavirus goes away, what do we do after that?
Once it goes away, the shit stop recording.
Do after that? Because we're gonna still want to buy. Like, if people are still going to want to buy sneakers. People are still gonna want to go to the movies.
I mean, I think this is okay. So, the way I look at it, because people have been kept mentioning this whole 5G shit to me. 5G. Mm-hmm. You know, this is happening because 5G. I don't necessarily believe that, but what I would say is interesting is that I think we are moving into another industrial revolution, where a lot of things are going to be technology based, and a lot of the industries that we knew or existed prior to the fourth industrial, or whatever the industrial revolution is now, just won't exist because this new infrastructure is being set up. So a part of me looks at this situation as like, this is that time for infrastructure to be set up. I text, Jallo. I was telling him this time, like, yo, use this time to just plan and reset, because retail is physically closed, but we can still plan for, because things are gonna open back up. But I think this is a time for businesses to pivot and see how to make online work for them, how to use your cell phone and these networks to be global. Because as you can see, the world is feeling the same thing at the same time. It doesn't make any sense, but it's still feeling the same thing at the same time. So it's like, it's all a story. Someone was able to take the coronavirus story and spread it. But imagine if it was a different story. Imagine if you had an actual positive, uplifting story, or a story that taught you how to get money. Yeah. And you gave it just as much, push as you do now. It works. If anything, this virus has shown me that with the internet, you can really reach global. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just a matter of just resetting and preparing us for another dynasty. Because I've heard people say that this might be a biological warfare from China and them flexing their muscles. Which is an interesting theory, because I don't think war can happen the same way war used to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So this is my thoughts on it being biological warfare. I think I was talking to Melissa about this. I don't know who I was talking to about this, but it's not very good biological warfare. It's not doing anything.
Well, so I was speaking to Lee, who's Chinese, and he made a good point. Like, he's like, yeah, man, I'm Chinese. I know them niggas. Ain't nothing for them to put a disease in a town, wipe that shit out. They're fucking communists. They don't care. Yeah. So it was just interesting to hear that perspective. And I'm like, let's say it is war, right? You take someone like Hitler. He didn't give a fuck because he had a mission. So if whoever is running, let's say it is biological warfare and China wants to flex, what's 1 million people to these people?
But that's what I'm saying. It's not killing nowhere near that number. That's the whole thing. I'm like, imagine if I said, I'm going to create this disease to kill people, and it kills 20 people.
Yes, you failed. Unless it's a bigger plan. Unless you just want to see, like, is it effective?
But it's not. That's my thing. Because I'm like, if you was to go down, there's a.
Well, this is the thing. It's not effective on what sense? Because if let's say this is Chinese government ordered, right? They just put the whole world in a panic. I think that's a mission accomplished.
But that's the thing, though. This is what I think people don't realize is because I love listening to conspiracy theories, right? Because it kind of gives me another thought process, perspective, right? Everybody is connected. Yeah. So if China is affecting the whole world, they're losing by doing that. Because now, who are they selling their products to? If they can make if we're not buying the product that they're selling, they're not making any money. So it's like it's not effective in the sense of, okay, we're gonna bring down the world economy. It's like, okay, their money is backed by American money.
But I leave it like this: would you say that economy has been jumping since?
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't.
No, it has not.
Okay, because I feel like I've read that certain industries are booming because of
certain, but it's like those certain industries are booming. It would be different if China was built off of one industry.
But what is China's main? Are we aware of what's going on in China? I don't think none of us knows what's going on in China. Like they might be celebrating in China right now. If anything, China might be like, "This is great. We got the manpower and the people to produce. People are just buying. So we gonna
who's buying?
Americans. Everyone's buying.
That's what I'm saying. We're not. I can't buy stuff from China,
bro. But the things that we're buying is made from China, though, right? So if
what things? Because I've tried to buy things from China. I can't buy it. I've gotten emails, people saying we're not allowed to send stuff out.
No, I'm saying in terms of when we go to a supermarket, when we go to any of these stores, when people are buying clothes, e-commerce.
Okay, but which e-commerce you think is being made in China? I don't think the people have their clothes made in China.
Yeah, no one is. Well, they do have made in China product, but I guess I would look at it from the aspect of like, once I don't know how it affects. I don't know what's happening in China, but I know America. What does America make? What does America sell that they themselves make? Like very few, like you have made in America clothes, you have made in America cars, but most of the things that we buy here are not from here.
That's the thing, though. If I have, let's say for example, Apple, right, is China gonna start their own Apple?
No.
So they still need America to make the money. We have to buy the products from China.
But we're gonna always buy. I think that's the thing. I don't think it's an issue with buying. I think it's more of just like a dick showing contest. I think America has been. This is under the pretense that it is a biological thing.
Yeah, we're going.
I think America has been in power for so long. I think there's been plenty of situations that. I just feel like it would be it's China's way of flexing their muscles, but not necessarily to kill people, but just to say like,
what do they flex? That's what I'm saying.
That we can put the world in panic. That we can.
But they're affected by it, so that's my whole thing.
But how? Like,
because we're not buying from China, so like they're okay. Two things.
We're not currently buying from China,
and we're not buying from China as long as this is going on. So they're going to be affected by it. It's like okay.
Listen. We can't buy from China, as regular humans, but a company stop from buying from China?
It's a couple of things. One, people are not buying the same stuff they were buying before. Let's say I go to mom and pop shop, not mom and pop shop. Let's say go to Macy's, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Macy's probably has a lot of stuff made in China. Exactly.
So let's say you go to Dollar General.
But they're not. But that's what I'm saying. Who's making more money, Macy's or Dollar General? That's my point. So it's like if you have Macy's, and let's say Macy's bringing $1 billion. It's a random number.
Yeah.
That's $1 billion that China is not making now. And if you multiply that by every business that's not being open right now because of stuff from China, they're losing money off of those products.
China makes the money before people buy it. That's the thing.
How?
Because you have to pay for the production. By the time it reaches America, China already made their money.
But if I'm not making any orders, how are you making money? So let's say for next month, if I'm not ordering 5 months in ahead for China, I'm ordering made for the next month.
Nah, niggas is ordering 6 months in ahead. Okay. I know you may use clothing as example.
No, but it's not. The majority of people are not ordering 6 months ahead of stuff.
But from a production standpoint, right? Okay. From a store standpoint, they're ordering 6 months to a year ahead.
Okay. So fine, let's go with that. So in 6 months from now, we're not ordering anything.
Yeah, then they're screwed.
But that's my whole point.
But this is not going to last 6 months.
No.
But if it did,
it doesn't work for them because they would lose money. Because we still have to buy from they can't make money unless we buy from them, and the whole world is buy from China. So if the whole world is like, okay, everybody relax, we're not buying nothing, everybody stay inside. China doesn't win by not selling their product.
Well, okay, how long has this been going
on? Here,
it's been around for like 6 months. But how long would you say the pandemic has started? Like a month?
Yeah, probably about a month.
let's say they did do it, and because we know this is going to end. I think we both know this is all going to end.
At some point.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to last 6 months. I don't think it's going to last 2 months. But
2 more months?
I don't think it's going to last past April.
But when you say not last, what does that mean? What does
I think this whole shutdown, all this stuff closed, is going to be done by April.
Okay.
So because it's going to be done by April,
which is in 2 months, which is in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like yeah, it was going to be done by April. Okay. I think.
So so let me ask you this. For it to be done, we'd have to hit the peak already. You think we hit the peak?
We have not hit the peak.
So how can we go down if we ain't hit the top yet?
We hit the peak this week. I think the peak is going to hit this week, personally.
Okay.
So I feel like we're going to hit a peak this week. I feel like, damn. That's the problem with talking to this nigga. I was supposed to leave mad long ago. But I feel like the peak is going to hit this week. And then
here's another thing too.
Listen.
Because you're not making sense.
Yeah, because April. So
but if it took us a month to hit the peak, why do you think we hit the bottom?
It's going to be done before the end of April. I can comfortably say it's going to be done before April ends. Not by April 1st, like I said, April Fools. That's comedic purposes. But before April ends, this will all be done.
Okay.
I think we're going to hit the peak between now and next week.
Okay.
After April Fools comes and he's just like, oh shit. And it's been like a full month of this nonsense.
Yeah.
But
is that what you think? Is that what you're hoping happens?
No, I don't think this is going to last.
No, is that what you think or you're hoping?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to last past April.
Okay. And you think, so April 31st, whatever the last day April is, people are going to go, all right, I'm going back outside, everybody's good.
Shit, man.
Bro, and the world's going to start back up just like that.
Come clean. I don't know about people, but I know
right. We're talking about the dumb people are going to be like, all right, everything's good now.
See, bro, that's the thing, because I don't know what the peak of this is. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I don't even think we're not even close to the peak.
I don't even think we're close to the peak.
Because I think people are just now shut down. They just now quarantined us. So we're just not in the quarantine section.
We're not even quarantine, that's the thing.
But I mean, they're saying we're quarantined. Exactly. So I'm like, okay, that's that. They're still trying to pass the law of giving us money every month. We haven't even got to the point.
Distractions.
But regardless of that, we haven't even got through the point of it being like, all right, it's not going to work anymore. We're still in the process of going, we're going to try and get $1,000 a month. So when we realize that that's dumb, then it'll be like, all right, this is not working. Coronavirus is not bad. Let's go back to fixing the problem.
That's the thing, though. It's like, when we realize that it's dumb, who is the we? Because the media is the one that's pushing the message.
Right.
So the second that the media decides, because bro, all the media has to do right now is put the stats that we just said.
Yes.
And the whole streets will be flooded.
All right, here's the thing. So I decided that I wanted to get some more things off my chest. Hunter left, so this will be the second half of the podcast. He had some things he had to go do. So this is a lot of things I still want to talk about. I think one of the most important questions so far that I've had today is what will make people go back outside? What will make you go back outside? And the conclusion I came up with would be there's two possible things, right? One, if the news said the quarantine is over, there's those words right there. The quarantine is over. Everybody go back outside. Or two, it's safe to be outside. And how would they do that? They would just put the numbers up that rational people have been talking about this whole entire time. That's all they're going to do. Is just say it's not as dangerous as we thought it was. And then the third thing I was thinking about, right? All the numbers are out there. Everybody has ideas of what this website says, what the news said about the deaths or the recoveries or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, 99% of people have no idea if that's true. So if tomorrow the news came out and said, wow, the number of deaths and the number of infections has decreased by 98%, we've got a hold on this. We would have no idea if that was true. We would have no idea if that was the case. And if then they said 90% of people or 98% of people have gotten better, then what would happen would be the same people that were already dying from the flu or the what is this called? From the coronavirus will be the same number. And all they would do is flip it. So now when they say, right now they're saying 10 people died and they're spinning it by saying, we don't know how many people will die next. We don't know. If they flip that and say, we've got it under control, and only 10 people have died in the last month, everybody will be comfortable to go outside. So that's what I was thinking about. So one of the other options that I was thinking about, I talked about earlier, is a way for the government to just give everybody money, right? If the Federal Reserve decides to print money, and just anybody who doesn't know, money is not backed by anything except for debt that we owe to the Federal Reserve. There is no actual, there's nothing backing it, right? It's something called fiat currency. It's pretty much a faith-based currency. I personally think it's better that way than having it backed by gold for situations like this. So then I can actually give you money based off of what's going on in the world that we can't control. If the Federal Reserve doesn't have money to give you, then there's no way they can help in a situation like this. If all the money they can give out is backed by gold and you only have 100 pounds of gold, you can only give out 100 pounds of gold. You can't create more gold that doesn't exist. So in situations like this, if your house is going to be foreclosed on, or you're going to be kicked out for eviction, or you need money for food, it's better to be able to print money out of thin air than it is to only have a finite amount of gold to use, right? If you make money out of thin air, you have an infinite amount of money to use. Now, the reason why I believe that originally I wasn't sure, but the reason I think that is actually not good is because if the Federal Reserve just gave everybody a bunch of money, or they paid all of everybody's bills until this crisis is over, right? There will be a lot of extra money in the economy. Everybody will have more money to spend, right? So everybody will go out and buy more things. Now, my understanding of how inflation would work in a situation like this would be, if I use Apple as an example, right? Let's say that the government gave everybody $10,000 a month, right? And everybody decided, you know what I want now? I want to buy an iPhone, right? So now the demand for the iPhone is very, very, very high, right? Super high. The demand of the iPhone is higher than the supply of the iPhone, right? So what does that mean for Apple? If Apple can only produce 10 phones a day, right? That means that they cannot sell 300 phones in a day. So for them to be able to make more phones, they would then have to add more people to work, hire more employees, or get new machinery that then helps them to create more phones to meet the demand of the phones, right? Those things cost money. Hiring more employees costs money, and getting new machines costs money, right? So if before it cost Apple $1 or 50 cents, let's go to $1 to make an iPhone, right? It's all hypothetical numbers and arbitrary numbers, and it's $1 to make the iPhone. Now that they've hired 10 more people, the price of the iPhone has to include the new employees and the cost of the new machinery. So then the price of the iPhone will go up, right? That is how inflation works, right? So at some point, I don't know how long it would be, if that were to happen and they can't meet the demand for the product they're selling, the prices will go up. And that devalues your money. You can't buy as much with your money that you used to be able to buy. So what does that mean? The iPhone will then cost, let's go with the iPhone will cost 3 times as much. So before, you could buy an iPhone for $1, right? Because it cost $1. You had $1. Now, the iPhone costs $3, and you still only have $1. You can't afford the iPhone. But now the iPhone's triple the price. So if we were to use real numbers, that means the iPhone would go from $1,000 to $3,000. You see how how that could affect people? If you had to pay $3,000 for an iPhone, you probably wouldn't have an iPhone. Or your monthly payment for the iPhone would be an astronomical amount of money, right? So that's my problem with, I think, the Federal Reserve giving people money, right? And people like to say, oh, the Federal Reserve could print money. They should give it to the homeless. They should give it to the people who are sick, people who can't pay their this and can't pay their that. And that's the problem. The Federal Reserve will just keep printing money and keep printing money and keep printing money, and the cycle will just continue. Well, it get to a point where people can afford things and other people cannot afford things. Now, some people might think, this is why capitalism is bad or good or whatever the case might be. However, I don't know any solution other than this system that we have right now that works. There might be some. I would love people to tell me what they are, but I don't understand how this is not the best option. At the end of the day, some people will be poor, others are going to have money. And another thing about this is the reason why people who have money continue to get richer. This is why the wealth gap continues to increase, right? Right now, right? There is, I don't know what the number is for the wage gap. I don't think it's important either for me to know the exact number. I just know it's a pretty large wage gap, right? If I have $5,000, right? I'm gonna use real life examples for this one. There's a stock that I want to invest in, right? The market is really low, and I know if I invest in this stock, whenever this crisis is done, I'm pretty sure I can either double or triple my money that I put into the stock, right? So I had to work for the money that I have to then be able to put it into that stock. So I will become wealthier, richer, whatever term you want to put on it, right? Now, I could take the money that I've made and I could buy a car, I could buy a new laptop, I could buy some new clothes, right? And when the market gets back to normal, I'm still going to be poor. And that's the problem I believe that's come from that's why the wage gap increases. People with money spend their money properly, they keep increasing their wealth. People who don't know how money works keep spending their money in the wrong way, and that is why they keep getting poorer. People like to blame on everybody else. Nobody wants to look at themselves and go, okay, maybe I shouldn't be making this decision. Maybe I should think, or maybe I should decide to live my life in a better way, right? I don't think people are actually doing that, and that's why people are getting poorer over time, right? Because they keep making decisions that are decreasing the amount of money that they have. One, and two, they don't research or do independent research on how money works. They don't just go and watch the news. They don't listen to their friends. They go and do research things themselves and then come to their own conclusion based off what they actually have read. Then they may go and add outside knowledge from the news or media to what they have done on their own in their spare time to find out what's going on with money, right? That's that on the whole money situation. Now coronavirus, right? So I am going to pull up some stats here of the coronavirus. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, the first stat that I want to pull up is a tweet that I saw yesterday or a couple days ago about the severity of death due to the coronavirus. So me personally, I hope this coronavirus lasts several months because I will make a lot of money during this time. And I'm pretty sure when I write my book, there will be a chapter on how the coronavirus made me a millionaire. Perfect. Here we go. So this is what I found online or from a tweet yesterday. The history of pandemics, right? So this says throughout history, we got, what is this? You read that, boom. All right, so this number is a death toll right here. This is the time period in which it happened, the years, and this is the name of whatever they call it, right? So right here we have the Antonian plague. Never even heard of that shit. This is in the year 165 to 180. Never heard of it. Honestly, I don't even know how they were able to keep track of how many people died, but whatever. I'll look into that later. The plague of Justinian, 30 to 50 million deaths in 1 year. So in 1 year, 30 to 50 million people died. That's all of California. All of California died in a year. Okay? The Japanese smallpox epidemic. This lasted for 2 years. 1 million deaths. The big kahuna right here. The Black Death. The bubonic plague. It lasted for 4 years. That's 200 million deaths. Now I'm gonna do the math on that, right? So that means that 25 million people died. No, 50 million people died every single year for 4 years, right? So let's see how many that is every month. That is 4.1 million people died every single month for 4 years. I'm gonna let that sink in. So that means, right? 5 months, New York City is gone. Right? 5 months, no New York City. That's out the window. Right? Let me see. Wait, let me make sure I have that number right. Is it 200 million? Divided by 4. Divided by 12. Yep, 4.16 million people died every single month for 4 years, right? The smallpox, 56 million people died in 1 year. In 1 year. That's more than the bubonic plague in 1 year. So that means every month, let's see, let me do the math real quick. 4.6 million people died 4.6 million people died every single month. Okay? Now, let's go through these real quick. We have the 17th century Great Plague, 3 million. 18th century Great Plague, 600,000. The cholera outbreak, 1 million. The third plague, 12 million. Yellow fever, 100 to 150,000. Spanish flu, 1 year this one lasted. 40 to 50 million people. I don't know. I wonder if this is like a, what you gonna call it? What do they call those things? Propaganda. Because this right here said, despite their names, both of these outbreaks are believed to have originated in China. That could be true. I don't know. I don't know why they call it the Russian flu and the Spanish flu, but they said they came from China. Maybe it killed more people in those countries. I don't know. All right. HIV and AIDS, 25 to 35 million. That's 1981 to now. All right. So I'm going to do the math on that one. That is 40 years. All right. 35 million. I'm going to go 25 million. Now I'm going to go in the middle. 30 million. 30 million people have died from HIV and AIDS in 40 years. So that means every year, 750,000 people die from this disease. Every single year, right? So that means every month, 62,000 deaths every month for 40 years. That's what HIV/AIDS is doing, right? We got the Asian flu, Hong Kong flu, okay? Swine flu. We got SARS. We got MERS. We got Ebola. And right over here, let me just, this little tiny dot right here is coronavirus. 4,700 people have died. Right now. Oh, the swine flu. 2009, 2010. So in 1 year, 200,000 people died. So 2019. Honestly, it wouldn't be fair for me to even to use 2019 and start from January, because that would just be me being mean if I started from January to prove how crazy this is. But it didn't start in January. As far as I know, it started within like October, November of 2019, right? So from October, when was this? I don't even know when was this created. Is there a date on this? This is from CDC, WHO, BBC, Wikipedia, historical records. Okay. Sheesh. Oh, this is from March 11th. This was a week ago, right? 9 days, 10 days ago. What is this? 12 days? Today's Monday the 23rd. So 12 days ago. All right. So 4,700 people in the last 6 months. Let's go 6 months. October, November, December, January, February, March. So 6 months. So in 6 months, 4,700 people died. So that means every month, 783 people died. 780, and this is the entire world. This is the entire world. The entire world. 780 people have died a month in the entire world. Just going by off of CDC and whoever else came up with this. That's what this is going off of. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because I feel like the pandemonium that we're experiencing is insane. It's no reason for everybody to be acting like this over something that does not have a death rate that is, bruh, it's higher than MERS and SARS, and I've been told that they're very similar, or either they came from China or they're very similar in that respect. But MERS has killed 850, SARS killed 770. So it's bigger than those and less than Ebola. And Ebola was from 2014 to 2016. I don't know if people are still dying from Ebola. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. All I know is it's killed 11,000 people. All right. So now we go down here. Where's the other one I want to show up? Okay. So I wanted to pull up some other things that kill people. I'm gonna come up with some random things to Google instead of trying to find out what this says. Oh wow. So, heart disease and stroke each year kill 730,000 people, right? According to the CDC.gov. And let's go with a monthly death rate, okay? The monthly death rate of heart disease and stroke each year is 60,000. 60,000 deaths every single month because of heart disease and stroke each year. Okay? But we're worried about coronavirus. 48,000 people die. 48,000 people die from cancer every single year, and we're worried about the coronavirus. 11,000 die every single month from from chronic respiratory disease each year, and we're worried about the coronavirus. That's what we're worried about right now. Pull up some. I'm gonna go with guns. How many gun deaths do we have in the city each year? In 2019, in America, 15,000 people died from guns last year. Okay, so 15,000. So that's about 1,200 deaths every single month, right? In America. I'm only doing stats in America. This is not the rest of the world. This is only America. Okay? Yeah, this is all U.S. deaths. These are not the numbers in the whole world. These are not the entire world's numbers. These are only in America. All the numbers I just said are only in America. Okay? Now, where am I? Okay, so according to the worldometers.info, the coronavirus, there's 360,000 cases of the coronavirus in the entire world. There are 15,000 deaths in the entire world, and 100,000 have recovered. Now, I'm going to go to view by country. Now, remember the numbers that I said earlier. I'm going to actually have the numbers right here so you guys can look at the numbers. So you can see and compare the month-to-month death of the coronavirus compared to everything else that I said earlier. So we're going to go to the USA. The USA has 40,000. We're number 3 according to this website. And the total death number right now in the US, here we go. You ready for this? Are you ready for this number? Hold on. I don't think you're ready for this number. I'm going to let y'all guess. I'm gonna let everybody guess how many deaths they think we've had in the U.S. Don't Google it. Just guess the number. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. Oh, 12:34 is my lucky number. Okay, I'm putting my timer on for 20 seconds, and I'm going to let everybody go and try and guess. I think 20 too long. 15 seconds. Give me 3 numbers. 15 in your head, or even say it out loud, whatever you want to do. Come up with 3 numbers that you have for the total amount of deaths in America. All of America, every state put together. You got 3 seconds left. You got 1 second left. Okay, now, if you guessed 1,000, you're wrong. Okay? If you guessed 2,000, you're also wrong. If you guessed 500, you're still wrong. 473 deaths from the coronavirus. Okay? Now, we're going to do that on a month-to-month basis. Right? So, the coronavirus has been around. I'm going to say, we're going to go with 6 months. We'll go 6 months, right? So, in the last 6 months, that means that 78 people in all of America have died from the coronavirus. 78 people. Now, I'm going to do something I'm going to go even smaller than that, right? 78 in the whole country. So that means, here we go. Let's go state by state, right? So that means that I'm going to divide the number by 50, all the states. 1.5 people have died in every state from the coronavirus. If we were to do it state by state, right? I'm going to just say 2, because why not? 2 people have died in every state from the coronavirus. That's how the numbers are looking right now. 2 people. And the whole economy has stopped because 2 people have died per month. 2 people per month have died from the coronavirus, and everybody's acting up. So we'll put that out there. So now I'm gonna go look at some other numbers. All right, 2 people per month. 2 people, and I'm. This is not a conservative number. This is the what do they call it when you? I forgot what the other opposite of conservative is. Either way, I'm going higher than the conservative number, right? So, I can tell you right now that people have been killed. I can guess that people have been killed 2 times per month by a car accident in the last 60 months in every state. If I had to just guess. Between getting shot, between people getting raped and killed, between cancer, between unhealthy eating habits, between the list goes on. 2 people per month have died, and we supposed to be in an uproar. So now I'm gonna go to the other. Mind you, we have the most cases. No, we have the 3rd most cases, right? China's number 1 with 81,000. Italy is number 2, 59,000, and USA is at 3 or 40,000, right? So, I don't know why Italy doesn't have new cases on here. That's kind of interesting. Who's at the bottom of this list? They're not even doing it by numbers. Where's the numbers of deaths? Let me see. Total deaths. Somebody said 1. Israel had 1 death. How do I pronounce this? Czechia? I don't know. 1 death. Thailand, 1 death. Finland, 1 death. Honestly, the only people that have higher than 100 deaths, that's a couple of them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 countries have higher than 100 deaths out of all the countries in the world. Now I'm gonna Google because I'm not really well versed in my my not world history, the landscape of the world, how many countries there are. But maybe somebody knows. Maybe somebody knows how many countries they have out there. Let me Google this. How many countries are in the world? 195 countries. And 11 of them have had more than 100 deaths. 11 other countries. All right. So, I just think people are acting fucking retarded. I think everybody's acting stupid. Everybody's concerned about their grandmother. Everybody's concerned about somebody else's grandmother. This is crazy, right? So, this is part of the podcast where I'm going to just... how I feel about this coronavirus. All right. So, I one thing I don't like about people is that everybody wants to be seen as something that they're not, and that it annoys me a lot, right? Like that's something that really is a pet peeve of mine. Okay, nobody cared about nobody's grandma, about nobody's sick uncle, about nobody's respiratory problematic aunt or any of that stuff 2 months ago. None of y'all cared about that. Nobody was caping for none of this. But now all of a sudden, right, you guys, everybody cares about this nonsense, right? And what I'm not gonna do is start caring about something I didn't care about before. There's no reason that I have to care about these things because it's not an issue. It's not a mass issue, right? Now, if old people are dying, old people die. It's what they do. Now, I'm gonna look at what is what is the average life expectancy in America? Okay. In the U.S., according to, what is it? It's 78 years old, according to the World Bank. I believe this is what it is, right? So if you live past 78, you already exceeded the life expectancy that we have as a country, right? And you telling me that these people are dying and because of a virus, they're already old. They're already sick. They die. People who are old, they die. This is what happens to old people. They die, okay? Now, I would be concerned, right? Now, this is something I want people to look up. I want people to look this up because this is what will concern me. If I found out, right? Listen to this. If I found out that babies were dying from this, if the coronavirus was killing babies, this would be a large problem because if the babies die, then we as a society have a large problem. If the people who already lived for 70 years are dying, that is not a large problem. That is a normal problem that we have. On top of the fact that, remember, 2 people per month are dying. 2 people in America per month are dying, right? And we stopped the world for 2 people per month in every state. That's 1 every other week somebody died. Now, I'm curious. How many people die from old age a year? Let me see. What is the death of old age? I can't even find that number because there's no way to figure out what kills somebody that's old. They could die from different things, like a respiratory infection for being old. That's what happens. So, now this is something that I feel like I really want to get into the most part of it, right? Is the health of people, okay? Oh, before I come to that, the baby situation, right? So, babies are not dying. And last time I checked the number, here we go again. I'm gonna set a timer. I'm gonna give you guys 20 seconds this time to figure out how many people are dying, how many babies are dying from the coronavirus. Here's the timer. 20 seconds is on, right? Because I don't think that anybody will come up with this number at the top of their head. I don't think. I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe somebody will. Somebody that does their research. Somebody that's smart. Somebody that doesn't just believe everything that they see on TV. Somebody that actually goes and reads things. Just to read a little bit. Not even a lot. Just a little bit of reading. Just to make you challenge what you've heard. Your time is up. What number you came up with? 2 guesses. In your head, what you got? Say them. Boom. The number that I saw last was 0. 0. 0 babies have died from the coronavirus. Now, why do you think that is? Why is it that 0 babies have died from coronavirus and old people are the most likely to die from the coronavirus, right? Now, this is going to go into my health situation in the sense of how much I care about my health, right? I changed my diet to eat a specific kind of food. Most of my food, 99% of my food is made in the house. Melissa makes all of the food, and the food is a strict regimen in terms of what we use to eat, what we use to make the food, right? Let me see if I said over here. So babies and old people, right? Now, the correlation that I saw between the two, people are unhealthy, okay? Everybody is eating food that is causing severe amounts of inflammation. Now, why do I think that that's happening? Okay? The body knows what it's doing. It does not need people to create something to help it. As far as I know, the body it knows what. This is why the babies are fine, because the babies' bodies have not been contaminated with the nonsense that we have eaten and do for the majority of our life. So when you get a coronavirus, and as I found out from my mom the other day, that most babies carry a lot of viruses, carry a lot of things, but they don't die from them because their body just gets rid of it. Your body has mechanisms to protect itself, right? Now, if anybody has been on this podcast, anybody has been out drinking, and you overdrink, your body throws up. That is your way. That's the way of your body getting what's in it out, right? Another form of protection from your body is a fever. The fever helps to get rid of whatever viruses or bacteria, whatever else in your body is trying to clean, right? Your body goes to sleep to help it recover and to help it protect itself from whatever is going on inside of it. These are things that babies do a lot because babies do not have compromised immune systems like most people who eat bullshit. Right now, inflammation. My theory of inflammation is any food that is made by man, right? Not by the earth, God, whoever you want to call it, whoever you believe in. It's made just by growing out the ground, right? I believe there's something with this food that allows your body to process it naturally, right? However, inflammation is a response to a problem. If you hit your arm on something or you break your finger, it gets inflamed. Your body is trying to stop you. It's like, oh shit, what's going on with your finger? Hold on. Let me swell up, go over, send over whatever I need to send over there to protect it from what's ever happening on the outside. And we're going to manage that, right? And then your swelling goes down. Everything works out. Your body fixes itself. Boom, you're good, right? If you're eating food that your body does not know how to process, you're going to have more inflammation in your body, because the inflammation is a response of your body going, I don't know what the fuck this is. We need to fight this thing. We're calling it food. We're calling McDonald's food. We're calling whatever, gluten, bread, whatever. We're calling all these things food, right? And our body's like, yeah, I hear you, but that's not food to me. I don't eat that. That's not what I eat. So I need to find a way to fight this, right? Now, your body may have a situation where it allows itself to deal with these things. You can have a donut, your body will handle that. You want to have a Kit Kat, your body will handle that. You want to eat some food from another place, your body could probably handle that, right? What your body does not want is the constant, like over and over and over again. What's the word I'm looking for? Would it be I don't want to say influx. I guess you call it influx. The influx of inflammatory food, right? Because now, I'm going to paint a picture for you, right? Your body, let's say it has 10 immune cells, right? You got 10 immune cells. And your immune cells can handle a donut. They can handle a Kit Kat. They can handle a bag of chips. They handle all those things. If each one of the immune systems or immune cells has to fight, you got one fighting Kit Kat, one fighting chips, you got one fighting bread, you got one fighting donuts, you got one fighting cheese, you got one fighting milk that you drink, you got, one fighting some fruit, you got one fighting lemonade, Sprite, and Coca-Cola, right? These are the things that your body is fighting. That's all the cells you had are putting their energy into fighting these 10 things. And you know what happens after that? The coronavirus sneaks in behind, right? Now that all your cells are actually fighting off of this problem that we have here, now the coronavirus has a higher chance of wreaking havoc on your body, because all the cells that were there to stop it are preoccupied with the rest of the bullshit you have put into your body, right? Now, who has the least amount of things put into their body? Babies. Babies do. That's why they're not dying, right? That's why old people are dying, because they have been putting food in their body. They have been mistreating their body for a very long amounts of time, right? That's my theory on why the whole situation with babies and why I'm not going to start caring about old people and things like that, right? And what I've learned about the healthcare system here is that the healthcare system that I've learned is designed to fix all of your symptoms, right? You have a headache, take this pain pill. The headache doesn't go away. You don't get rid of the headache. The pain pill shuts off the receptors of the headache. The headache is your body has its own language. The headache is one of those languages. Hey, fam, whatever you're doing, stop doing that, because it's fucking shit up. I'm letting you know by this headache that this is a problem. Don't do that no more. If you take the painkiller and it shuts that off, you still have the problem. You just don't know about the problem. That's the problem people have when they become it's not paralyzed. If you have if you have a high pain tolerance, you can break an arm. It's extremely high, obviously, and you won't know that you did that because you don't feel it, and you just keep breaking your arm. People, when they numb their mouth, you bite your tongue because you don't know what's going on. You didn't fix the problem. You just fixed the symptom of it, and that's what I feel like people are doing with all of these vaccines and all the other bullshit that's going on. Your body can handle stuff for the most part until you overload it with bullshit. That's how I look at that, right? Now, the next thing I want to get to is the actual coronavirus, right? Because one thing that I've been trying to find out is what the fuck is the coronavirus, right? Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows how it kills people. All we know is that it's the deadliest thing. We all should be worried. The economy is crashing. Everybody's inside the house. Oh my God, I'm so scared. If I ask somebody, and people, I hope somebody listens to this podcast and thinks I'm talking some bullshit. I love people telling me I'm talking bullshit because it forces me to then think, or it allows me to know how dumb somebody else is, right? So, when I think about, see, how can I word this? Oh, the coronavirus. Okay, boom. How I want to get to that. When I think about what the coronavirus does, right? People don't know what the fuck it is, but everybody is scared of it, right? If you were to Google what it does, you as a person might feel less inclined to be scared or quarantining yourself or tweeting some nonsense, some bullshit about, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't believe people are outside. I can't believe this is oh my God, the world is ending. If you just Google what it does. So I'm gonna pull it up right now. I'm gonna Google how the coronavirus kills people. Because last time I checked, it is exactly what the flu does. So let's see what we can find on Google. I'm gonna do my quick Googles. I know people don't want to Google. They look on Twitter and they just go with that, right? How does the corona? It's how easy it is for everybody. It's how easy it is for people. Just go online. All the questions you have. Don't feel like, oh my God. See, what the fuck is this? I don't care. What the fuck? Who cares about? Oh my goodness. How does the coronavirus kill? Yeah, I don't know. But I think that that pretty much wraps it up for this podcast. I really just felt like I wanted to say something. I wanted to get my thoughts out, and that's how I came up with this podcast. On top of the fact that it's just kind of living my philosophy in the sense of just start something, because nobody that's ever started anything at the end of the day was perfect when they started it, and they're not perfect now. I'm pretty sure if you look at Drake, if you look at Jeff Bezos, he would look at himself 10 years ago and be like, or 5 years ago and be like, wow, I didn't know what I was doing. But 10 years ago, he would be like, I wish I was 5 years ahead of myself. Like, it's, as long as you're working and you're doing it, you're going to get better. And you're going to reap the benefits of doing and putting in the work. But if you do nothing at all, you won't get anywhere. And tomorrow is going to come whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. Next week is going to come. Next month is going to come. You can either sit down and do nothing or spend money until it comes and be in the same situation you're in right now. Or you can be prepared for when it does come so that it is a better tomorrow, a better next month, a better next week, whatever the case might be. So this is me preparing for that. This is me deciding, okay, in 10 years from now, the podcast will be doing something for me that it'll be bringing income into me, and I'll know that from where I started now, I won't be here in 10 years. It'll be bigger than it is now, and it'll be a lot better than it is now. But I know I can never get to that point if I didn't decide to just start recording. So I decided, coronavirus, thank you very much for doing this. And like I said earlier, I believe that the coronavirus will be a chapter in my book on how it made me a millionaire. So it's a Bamboo Project. Turning life into a living, we consistency.